greatest show in fantasy football history, hosted by the incomparable Scott Connor and the one and only Ray GQ. I present to you Destination Chill, where football and fantasy collide.
Good evening, good people. Happy early Memorial Day week, Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully everybody has had fun this weekend. Cookout at the pool, hanging out with friends away for the weekend, whatever it might be. You're getting a long weekend, but we are not taking a week off. We are back with another Ray versus Scott Underdog Bestball Mania 5 draft. Ray crushed me last week, according to the people. Bunch of comments. Ray got him. Ray got Scott last week. So we're back to roll it back for one more week of, I guess this is Ray versus Scott BBM5 version 2.0. Ray, we haven't talked a lot this week, but both of us have been drafting a ton. We both max entered that Pomeranian, which has been a little thorn in my side all weekend with notifications just going crazy. But what's good, my friend? I'm excited for this.
Man, I'm excited, bro. There's no winners and losers, man. We do this because we truly love this. We love the theory behind tournaments and contests, fantasy football. So it's just fun, man. And it's iron sharpens iron. You're one of my best friends and somebody that I respect tremendously in this space. And shit, I ain't scared of you, bro. Let's draft against each other. Head that. I don't give a damn if it's Scott Connor. Let's get it, baby. And we are in the draft together right now. So I'm excited, man. So quick housekeeping. Make sure y'all pull up tomorrow morning. I will be flying solo tomorrow on Wake Up. Jay Rich is out. He is going to enjoy London. So let's pull up tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out the Wake Up Show. We're going to go through all the hype and everything that's going on. And then, hey, let's talk ball. Trey McBride put a piece out earlier today on Trey McBride, diving deep into his situation and if he can finish tight end one on the season. So make sure you check out all the content on the channel. But Scott, we are live. It is rolling. Here is the board. I've got the 104 and you've got the 110 in this one, my friend. Last time we were picking back to back. I got the 104. You got the 110. Immediate thoughts, Scott, about what you want to do, the direction, what you're going to try to build, all of that good stuff.
Honestly, I have no clue. 110, 104, we're away from each other. I'm probably going to consider potentially going RB, which has been a completely foreign concept to me in BBM5 until practicing with these Pomeranians, where you have to do something different. Otherwise, you just end up with the same damn teams over and over and over. So I may go an RB start and see what I can pull out later at receiver. It's not going to change my construction, but we might go for a 4 RB build today, depending on how it goes. And you're at 4 and I'm at 10. So we can kind of talk through each pick with some time in between.
Yeah, I'm on the clock. Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb off the board. So I'm staring down Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Bijan. I think I am going to shake it up a little bit. I don't feel like dealing with Jamar Chase in Pittsburgh. We're going Bijan Robinson at 104. I'm switching it up. I'm going running back at 104. I've got so much Amon-Ra, so I'm happy to take Bijan right here, man.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping Bijan fell, which means Breece may fall. I may get stuck with Gibbs at 110, but we'll see. Sometimes you think you have a plan until somebody you don't think is going to be there falls to you at 110. But that's what I think that's what I'm going to do unless Gibbs goes here, which it's very possible with that start. We see a Gibbs go in the first 9 picks.
Breece all went 105. Right after I picked 104.
I know.
Yeah, Breece went 105 right after that.
I think another thing with this start is you potentially could build somewhat of a different team. You don't see a lot of Gibbs, Laporta teams. I've been able to pull 1 or 2 off in the Pomeranian.
Yeah,
you haven't seen many of those just because of where they're at. But sometimes, if one of the Niners drafters doesn't take Laporta, you can end up getting them. And I'm good. I'm going to go Jahmyr Gibbs at 110. Start it off. Yes, sir.
There it is. You're back up at 203. So week 17 for me, I'm using the Spike Week tool. I've got the Washington Commanders, the Giants, and the Raiders, so I feel really good about the correlation I can make with Atlanta and those 3 teams in the playoffs. You went with Jahmyr Gibbs, and we all know who the Lions have in week 17, so you'll be targeting some of the 49ers. So we still got your board pulled up, Scott, so you can kind of talk through what's on your screen, where you're probably going to go here with this next pick, man, you might be able to. Where do you think you're leaning? Ayuk, Debo, you're going to go Laporta. How are you going to do this?
No, I'm going to go Saquon. I said I'm going to build RB. I would have taken Jonathan Taylor over Saquon, but I'll lean Saquon here. And it gives me a lot of options with the typical Eagles stacks as well. So I'm going to go Saquon, a Gibbs Saquon start, which when you do that, I'm almost committing to 4 running backs, which means if somebody falls to me, potentially like in the early 4th, if like ETN is there, I would take ETN. And then I'm just done with running backs after 4. I'm not going to take 4 in a row, but I'm only drafting 4 for sure if I take 3 in my first 4 picks.
Yeah, and where I'm sitting right now, man, having gone Bijan Robinson at the start, I'm going to pull my board up really quickly. Having gone Bijan at the start, there's no commander that I'm probably going to take right here. So I'm trying to diversify some players and do some different things. And, man, I have wanted, Scott, to get some more Anthony Richardson. We're going to see. Devontae Adams, they got Atlanta week 15, so there's some correlation there early in the playoffs. Need a wide receiver. Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell doing their thing. Nico, Brandon Ayuk, Malik Neighbors, week 16 matchup. That's probably the target. To be honest with you, that's probably the target. I'm probably going Malik Neighbors, target week 16, pair him up with Bijan Robinson. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, that works. I've been thinking more at week 16 games and some of these teams that have matchups that are just super easy to stack in both weeks. Like San Fran is super easy, right? Because they got Miami and then they got Detroit. So it's almost like if you can find these clusters where you're correlating a pick later in the draft with both week 16 and week 17.
Yeah.
I think that's where the rosters really start to come together. Otherwise, it feels like a lot of the teams when you're done, you just have like 2 or 3 games you're just clustered in. You know what I mean? I have 5 players from a game here. I got 4 players from a game here. Then you're just kind of like one-offs. But if you can get it to where you have like multiple angles, you have some 15 mix. And the Spike Week tool is good for that. If you go to number of game stacks by week, and then it'll break down what the weeks look like. It'll tell you like where you have each one stacked. So like week 4, you have 3 players stacked. You know, it'll go from week 1 to 17 all the way through. And that's a really cool feature of the tool. There's been some teams where I've neglected some week 15 and week 16, like entirely. I mean, do you think if you do that, are those teams at risk of just not getting bounced? Even if they have the right combos, they get bounced. They don't even get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I am about to be back on the clock. I started off Bijan Robinson, week 17 versus the Commanders. Second pick was Malik Neighbors, and this may actually work out for what I want to do. His week 17 matchup is against Indianapolis, and I have just talked about wanting to get some more Anthony Richardson. So right here at pick at the 3-4 spot, I'm taking Michael Pittman. So the correlation with Malik Neighbors, perfect. There's perfect symmetry right there. Nice. And there's a chance that I can be able to pull off some A-Rich, Adnan Mitchell a little bit later on. And if I do land Anthony Richardson, well, then that means one of my late-round tight ends will be one of the either Kylan Granson that nobody's taken or Mo Alley Cox, somebody like that. But you are approaching here for your third-round pick. What are you thinking? Yep. I got the full board pulled up. You started off Gibbs and Saquon. You're back up. I think you're going to pass on running back here, are you? Laporta's still chilling, man. Sam Laporta's still right there.
Laporta's chilling there. Kyron keeps falling in these drafts. Now you've noticed it. He's falling. He's going to the mid to late third. There he finally went. I'm interested more in the receivers and tight ends on the teams where I took the running backs. Right? So I'm interested more in the Dallas receivers and tight ends and the San Fran receivers and tight ends. Obviously, the San Fran receivers are mostly already gone. I didn't really think to take Laporta with Gibbs, right? But it's right there. Not? I think I'm gonna do it. Right I'm gonna do it.
Why not at the ADP? Why would you not? I'm good with that. You've locked up Detroit.
I guarantee you, there's not many teams that have Laporta and Gibbs together. It's a tough spot because Gibbs is usually going at the 1-2 turn, and by the time you're back around, it means Laporta fell. So I'm gonna go Laporta. That's an interesting build.
I like that.
Normally, you don't see Laporta get past the teams that took Debo and Ayuk and Amon-Ra. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you
that's
don't
why I
see
pulled
him
up
get
the
past
full
those
board
teams.
I pulled up the full board to see who took Debo. So the team that took Amon-Ra and
They
Debo
passed.
actually,
Look at that.
yeah, they passed on him and took Kyron Williams. They passed on him to take Kyron.
That's. I mean, maybe it's building different teams, but I think if I start Amon-Ra Debo or Amon-Ra Ayuk, I'm going Laporta.
Yeah, I probably
You know what I
would have
mean?
taken Laporta right there, falling in the laps, especially seeing Kelsey come off the board right before Kyron Williams. I would have passed on running back there and took Laporta. But hey, good pick for you. I like that. I like the it's a different build. 2 running back, 1 tight end start. I have gone running back, wide receiver start so far, and you are approaching, Scott. So I'm gonna pull your full board back up, and I'm following along and thinking about where you might go with this next pick.
Oh, I already said it. I'm not going to say it again until I see this pick. Well, the next pick too, but I'm going ETN.
Yep. ETN.
I'm gonna try. I'm going to. Oh, shouldn't have said it.
Shouldn't have said it.
I say he goes.
Should not have
All
said
right, so
it.
well, so here I'm going to pivot. I'm not going to force another running back. ETN is the one I kind of feel pretty strongly on. So I'm going to go, just kind of looking ahead a little bit, I'm going to go George Pickens. And it's just because I think there's a lot of options still that I can stack that game as well. So I'm going George Pickens. I'm giving myself another option. They do play Philly in week 15, so I have some correlation already with Saquon. But I think it opens up the board. There's other Niners and Cowboys I can take that correlate with the running backs I already picked. And I'm building some correlation out with. So it's giving me another game to build upon with Pickens. A lot of these games are already spoken for. You know what I mean? The prime players are already gone. Whereas Pittsburgh, if you take Pickens or one of the Chiefs receivers here coming up, you can still build out that game a little bit.
All right, I'm 2 picks away, Scott. I'm 2 picks away, and I think I'm going to. I don't want to miss out on this pairing. So with 2 picks left, if he's there, I am going to take Anthony Richardson. I am just going to get it out of the way at pick 45. Lamar just came off the board. I don't want to wait. Now, the play is to go A-Rich and get Jaden Daniels and have 2 quarterbacks. And I just got 2 rushing quarterbacks. I'm stacking up week 17s. I got the correlation going on. Taking Anthony Richardson. I've wanted some more Richardson. I don't have a lot.
You don't think you can wait? You can't wait 6 more picks, or is it too risky given that Mahomes isn't off the board yet, nor Stroud?
But that's the thing. When I'm doing this, like, I don't care where Mahomes is because I'm building for my team. It's not. I'm not trying to catch the value. I'd rather just make sure I get the correlation that I want. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But talk through that though. It's a fair point, but I just don't want to. I don't want to play that game. You know.
I mean, between your pick and your next pick, you would have had 6 picks, right?
Yep.
So I'm looking at the teams ahead of you or in between you. None of them had quarterbacks, but also none of them really had an obvious reason to take Richardson, given that you have Neighbors and Pittman already. So that would have been the game, is that they're not interested in A-Rich because they don't correlate with what they already have. But you never know who you're in these drafts with, Ray. It could be a rogue person that is a Florida Gators fan and just takes A-Rich, and you're like,
just because
really, I should have got him. Yeah.
Just for the 6, and that's the thing. Could I have waited? Sure, but it just wasn't worth it for me. I wanted to make sure I got Richardson. You know what I'm saying? So I've got A-Rich stacked up with Pittman, and that correlates with Malik Neighbors as week 17. So again, I'm not even building around my first round pick right now in his week 17 matchup against Washington, but I'll be able to get some correlation there later. So we're back on the clock. I know y'all really can't see the pool. Let me scroll over real quick before we get auto picked. And I got 10 seconds left. There's Kyle Pitts there. Sure. Let's do it. Kyle Pitts is the selection. Kyle Pitts. So I've got Bijan and Pitts. I don't want anything else from Atlanta. Really wasn't feeling anybody else on the board at the moment, Scott Connor. So I just went Kyle Pitts to pair up with Malik Neighbors and Bijan Robinson and try to capture the Atlanta Falcons. That's what I did. And you are up in here in the next couple. What are you? And
I don't even know if you realize it, but Atlanta plays the Giants. Atlanta plays the Giants in week 16. So you may you can double down on, if this is a 3 QB build for you and you double down on Daniel Jones, you get Malik Neighbors QB and you run it back with Pitts,
Correct.
Bijan in week 16. So that's what I was talking about earlier, is if you can find those builds where you're a late pick,
Yes.
correlates multiple players that you already have. Like, this is a team where you don't mess around and wait on Daniel Jones. You
No.
take him around early. You know what I mean? You make sure
Yep.
you. So I'm looking at a couple things here. The reason I went Pickens was because I knew Worthy or Mahomes or Pacheco would be on the board, and Mahomes and Pacheco have gone.
Both went.
So if Worthy goes here, this team has 4 receivers already. If he goes Worthy, I'm in trouble. But that was one of my plans. I took Pickens because I knew I'd be able to get one of those 3 Chiefs coming back. I kind of was hoping for Pacheco because I could round out my 3 RB build. But I'm going to go Xavier Worthy right here because it correlates with Pickens.
Yep.
I'm probably in on Justin Fields again for the, I don't know,
80th
12th
time.
Yeah. But there's a reason now to get him, just like your Daniel Jones. There's another reason to go after Fields right now based on what I have lined up. They also play Philly in week 15. So it's the same thing as you.
Same thing. Well, and don't you think with the way that we've invested early at the tight end position with Sam Laporta and Kyle Pitts, this is probably looking like a 2. If we're committing to 3 quarterbacks, you're probably locked into a 2 tight end build. Laporta and 1 other tight end, or are you going to try to push it for 3 here?
No, I'm actually going to knock it out right here. Make it easy. We're going to go George Kittle, and I'm done. So we got the Laporta, Gibbs, George Kittle, and we are finished. I am going 2 tight ends, and I know I'm going to have to go 3 QBs, right? And that's why I'm committing to the 2 tight ends. I just don't even want – I'm turning off that tab for the rest of the draft.
Correct. Yep. So you've started Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley, Sam Laporta, Pickens, Xavier Worthy, and George Kittle. The correlation with Kittle is with your Jahmyr Gibbs and Sam Laporta. You've got George Pickens, Steelers and Chiefs correlation with Xavier Worthy. And Saquon Barkley, you said they play somebody in week 16. So there's also
Philly has Pittsburgh in 15. So there's some correlation with Pickens and that Chiefs stack as well. So, and there's a comment in the chat I want to address with you because I know you've spoke on this. When you have a 2 tight end build, do you care where their bye weeks are? Do you give a shit?
No, I don't.
Okay, me either. I'll take a 0 1 week at tight end if it means they're available all the other weeks. So just nip that in the bud.
Yeah, I don't care at all. But it's a good question. I like the question though. The tool helps you out a lot right here because there aren't any obvious glaring, stacks and correlation early on. Like Devin Singletary's way down there later. But I do get some week 16 action right here with Calvin Ridley, who just came off the board. Calvin Ridley. Sniped. I wanted that Ridley. I'm not reaching for Hopkins right here. You know what? This is one where I'm just going to take the value, dude. Like, I'm going to just take Joe Mixon. I like Joe Mixon. I've got no correlation with Mixon. None. But I like the running back. And with Bijan, I kind of want to go 4 RB build as well. Good offense. No correlation at all. I'm taking just a good player who's fallen a little bit. So I went with Joe Mixon. My plan got kind of fucked right there, Scott.
So, sometimes you just have to say, I'm drafting a good player, right?
Fuck it. There's little analysis there. Yeah, he's good. He's the starting running back on a good offense. I'm taking Joe Mixon right there. Bijan and Mixon, I can rock with that. And with Baltimore, KC, and Miami, I might target me some Rashee Rice a little bit later to pair up with that Week 16 matchup against Houston. I might do that. I might look to do that. Shit, I might do it next. Hopkins or Rashee Rice? Where do you want to go, GQ? Hopkins, look at all that Evan Ingram I got. Look at all that Evan Ingram. I feel like Scott Connor from like 2 years ago. Look at that. Just overweight.
I think you should go DeAndre Hopkins.
No, screw you, because you want some Rice later? Screw you, man.
Because Rashee Rice is my next pick.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm taking him.
No, man, you're ruining this is a heads up. I forgot. I forgot.
Well,
I shouldn't even have
I
said, I
talked
shouldn't
through it
even have
though.
encouraged you on that, Hopkins.
I talked through. That was the first name I had. I'm like, well, I might go
I know,
Rashee
I
Rice
know.
just to pair up with that Week 16 versus Houston. I could scroll down a little bit, a little too early for Cortland Sutton. And Rashee Rice is off, so neither of us get him. Neither of us get Rashee Rice.
He's moving up.
Connor. I am Nuke. That opens up the door for Levis if I take Hopkins. Scott, I kind of don't know which route I want to take right here, to be honest with you, dude. Thinking through this, looking at the board. Fuck, man. Yeah.
Just let it rip.
Let me stick to the plan. DeAndre Hopkins it is. I
like it.
I
It fits what
out.
you were doing. This theme's going to come up with me for the next 4 rounds, where if you're having to fish for receivers here, I'm definitely having to go 9 receivers in this draft, because I'm drafting Xavier Worthy as my wide receiver too, and they're just getting eaten up to the point now where
they're getting eaten.
They're just getting eaten. So I'm basically going to be creating new avenues. JSN went, which I've been taking him a ton, but here, I mean, I have him in 25% of BBMs already, which is too high. So I'm just going to go best receiver available, and it's going to be another rookie, Brian Thomas Jr.
You're taking BTJ?
It's either Brian Thomas or go JMO, but I already have Laporta and Gibbs, and it doesn't feel like I want to do that unless I want to go different. So I'm going to go BTJ.
Okay.
I have no correlation with that, but there's some targets on those teams that I'll take later. So
that was me with that was literally me with Joe Mixon. There was no correlation with Mixon, but 11 spots after the underdog ADP. I'll take the little bit of value that I get right there with him. So you, Mr. Connor, are back up at the 803, and so far you are committed to a 0-2-3-2 build right now. No quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, 2 tight ends. I am sitting at a 1-2-3-1 build currently, with Anthony Richardson being the lone quarterback and Kyle Pitts being my lone tight end. If J-Mo's on the board for you here at 87, would you take him?
I don't want to, but I have 0 J-Mo. I think I have 0 J-Mo in like anywhere. So if he's there, I think I will take him. I don't think he'll go here, given what this team has already built. But as soon as I say that, he might. But yeah, I'll take J-Mo, because the running backs I normally would take here, like if Jaylen Warren was there, I would take him. But I don't want to go Jaylen Warren knowing I'm probably going to draft Fields. Like it's a little too much Pittsburgh. So I'm going to go J-Mo and just knock it out. So I don't love it, but I'm having to go 9 receivers. So I'm just,
you see,
it's a blind spot for me. It's a blind spot for me.
Yeah,
I don't draft any J-Mo.
Yeah, I like it. I don't hate it at all. Real talk, man. I don't hate it at all. There was a comment that I want to address. Like the stream. Yeah, appreciate you. Like the stream. Comment. Red McMuffin said, can you please explain why correlation matters and how much to prioritize it, please? So as I'm figuring out my plan here, Scott, you want to take a stab at tackling this answer?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. And I'm sure if you listen to a lot of underdog content, all you hear is correlation, prioritize it. You say it a million times. After a certain range, the ADP literally doesn't matter as long as you're building the right construction and having some correlation. And it comes down to, it matters most because there's 672,000 teams in the tournament.
Correct.
So every time you get a good deal on a player, I got this guy a couple picks after ADP. Like, it's really not an advantage because he's getting drafted 672,000 times. So It's really about how many different combinations you have with that player, how you have them stacked. I mean, it's going to come down to, if that player smashes, even if it's past their ADP, you still have to have them correlated the right way to give your chance to win when this slims down to the 0.02% of the teams that are in the finals. You need to have something a little unique, and you're betting on individual outcomes for the most upside.
All right,
Sutton. Okay.
I just took Cortland Sutton, fits the build, plays against Indianapolis week 15, and then he's got DeAndre Hopkins. Plays against Indianapolis in week 15. So, I mean, I've got A-Rich that goes against Malik Neighbors. I've got A-Rich in Indianapolis versus Tennessee, and then versus Denver. So, again, do I love Cortland Sutton? No, but he fits the direction and the build and the combination and ultimately the time frame in which I want these guys to pop off at the same time, which is in the playoffs. It's week 17, it's week 16, it's week 15. So I am on the clock here, about to be on the clock here at pick 100. And if he's there, I am going to take my third running back, and that third running back will be Devin Singletary.
Ooh, okay.
Probably Singletary. Brian Robinson versus Atlanta or Austin Eckler, or do I just lock up Jaden Daniels here who won't come back to me? I've got to go JD.
If you really want him, yeah, and that solidifies your QB build.
I got to go JD. I just have to. And then I will prioritize getting Luke McCaffrey or some Ben Sinnott later, maybe as the second tight end. But there it is. Jaden Daniels correlates with Atlanta in week 17. And you know what this makes me have to do? I probably have to get Jahan Dotson. Your favorite receiver, Scott.
I mean, how much Jahan Dotson do you have? Probably not a lot.
Probably like one share of Jahan Dotson.
Right.
One share.
Yeah, that's going to be your version of J-Mo, where you're just you just plug your nose and you say, I need 2 out of 150. And you're not excited that it goes well.
I've got, man. Projected ownership with 7%. So Jahan Dotson is on the old queue right there. All right, Connor, let's see what you got going on, man. What the hell you got going on, bro?
The one pick I'm regretting a little bit. Not regretting, but
talk to me. Talk to the people.
You know, I'm sitting here. I'm 3 picks away, so it hasn't locked in yet. But I have a feeling that maybe this team that's up here has Amon-Ra and Debo, so I'm wondering if they're considering going one of the Goff or Purdy here in a bit. So I don't know if they're going to take a quarterback or not. Well, they took Dak Prescott, of course. That's who I was going to take.
Dak?
Because they just needed that Dak.
Yeah, had to have Dak. No correlation anywhere.
They have zero with that when they have Amon-Ra and Debo.
Zero.
And they just had to have Dak. So, yeah, man.
Right.
Seeing Jake Ferguson fall to here, right? When I was looking for that tight end correlation opposite my running back, I feel a lot better about Jake Ferguson here than I would have George Kittle, where I took him.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Tajay Spears.
God damn it.
Correlates with Brian Thomas. The problem with Spears is I just posted my shares of running backs. I have a ton of Tajay Spears. So maybe that's a little play you're taking.
I needed him. Why would you do that?
Because I think he's the best running back on the board. I could have gone Trey Benson, but I also have a lot of Trey Benson. But I got the Brian Thomas correlation. I wanted another piece of that offense, and I know you were potentially going to take him. So I'm taking him there.
Absolutely was. How many quarterbacks do you have? 0 so far?
I have no quarterbacks. I'm thinking about
Brock Purdy.
I'm thinking about going Brock Purdy here. I like Brock Purdy because I like the quarterback tight end stack almost better than I like the quarterback receiver stacks. I have a lot more Goff than Purdy because he usually goes around later. And I like playing back with a running back like Gibbs with the opposing quarterback. So I am going to go Brock Purdy. The other options, man, part of me wants to push it, Ray.
T-Law?
Part of me wants to push it, but Trey Benson went, so I'm going to pass. I'm going to go Brock Purdy here. I would have gone Trey Benson just because that would have been my 4th running back and I would have been done. But I'm going to go Brock Purdy. I'm
going to just tell you this, Scott. I've been doing some deep diving into just some different football shit. I don't care how you slice it or how much you love them, dude. The 49ers offense, like when you really break down how efficient and how good even Kittle was on a per route, per target basis, how good Brock Purdy was versus Manor. I mean, it's incredible. Their offense is even it's probably much better than people even realize of just how efficient they are with limited passing volume. And if he can just hold some of that efficiency and increase the pass attempts and the pass volume a little bit, it is banana land levels of efficient. Very good offense, man. All right, I'm on the board. We're about to be on the clock here, and I still have some a couple of players that fit what I'm trying to do. What I would like to be able to do is get Austin Eckler right here. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm one pick away. Would really like to get Austin Eckler here, very much so. And there we go. Falls to me, and I have finally gotten some correlation with Bijan Robinson, and it comes by way of Austin Eckler. So I'm going to make that pick, and boom, you see that turns green. So the Spike Week tool, everybody that's properly correlated in from these picks with Week 17, it's green. A-Rich and Jaden Daniels right there. You got Austin Eckler, Michael Pittman. I'm feeling good about the construction. I'm only taking 2. I'm probably going to take Daniel Jones. Probably going to be a 3 QB, 2 tight end build, probably targeting Ben Sinnott later on. Cortland Sutton, DeAndre Hopkins, Chigo Okonkwo, Will Levis, Malik Neighbors. Will Levis or Daniel Jones, Scott? Will Levis or Daniel Jones? I just don't know if Dimes is going to be there in week
definitely
17.
Will Levis, but you're going to there's usually more competition for Will Levis in drafts, including from yours truly, who just added him in my queue because I have Spears and Brian Thomas. And I'm eyeing potentially, some Gabe Davis later with some Will Levis because I need receivers.
I'm not going to touch Gabe Davis. I got no interest in Gabe.
I'm not going to fight with you on it. I'm not going to fight with you on that. But I would go Levis. But Levis, what we're talking through right now, there's probably 2 or 3 teams in every draft that is eyeing a 3 QB build where they want Levis. Whereas do you see anybody else going after Daniel Jones unless the team that drafted Malik Neighbors, right?
Absolutely. There's no need. No need.
Exactly. And that's why you can get Daniel Jones later. I know you're up.
I like Dontavian Wicks a little bit more than Jahan Dotson, but I need correlation with Jaden Daniels. Now, I can risk this thing, and you know what? Uh-oh, come on, baby. Come on.
Damn it. That was going to be my next pick.
I'm just taking
randomly. I needed another running back.
Blake Corum.
And that's the best one on the freaking board.
Sign me up. Let's go with Austin Eckler, Mixon, Blake Corum, 0 correlation. I don't give a damn. I'm not taking Jahan Dotson over Blake Corum. Correlation be damned. I just can't do it. Give me my 92nd share of Blake Corum in 32 drafts that I've done so far. I just keep taking Blake Corum. So now you're about to be back up. I'm pulling the full board up, Scott, to just take a look at what we've done, what we've constructed. There goes that Jared Goff off of the board at 125. Chase Brown went right before Blake Corum, Jerry Jeudy, Dalton Schultz. Scott, your last 3 picks were Jamison Williams, Tajay Spears, Brock Purdy. You are 1-3-4-2 build right now, 11-10 coming up. Where's your head at?
Well, I'm thinking Brandon Cooks because I wanted to get a piece of the Dallas offense. I could. I'm thinking this here because I have Spears. Mm-hmm. I know I could get Tyler Boyd later. I got to avoid this pick. Let me see if there's any correlation.
Know if you can get Tyler Boyd later, but I like the thought process there.
Well, I'm thinking about. All right, let's see. One more pick. That was Jacoby Myers.
Garrett, you could get Garrett's in the chat. He's saying that his Spike Week tool doesn't have colors. You need to scroll
I was gonna ask you that you can customize the colors. So
yes, you got to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you can customize the colors. Coach said he can't stop clicking Corum either. Yeah, I just keep pressing Blake Corum. Scott, you're on the clock. Let's pull your board up. You're staring intently. Saw that Jerome Ford just go.
Yep. You know what? I'm going to take a risk. I'm taking a risk. I'm going Trevor Lawrence. This is going to be a 2 QB build. I'm now banking I can get Gabe Davis on the way back. I could have gone Gabe just because there's only one team ahead of me that only has 1 QB.
All
It's
right.
this next team. This team's not going to take a QB because they already have Jalen Hurts and Kyler Murray. At
And
least
Kyler
they
Murray.
should not be looking QB. But I've
They
seen
should
weirder
not.
things happen,
They should not.
including they get auto picked and get that third QB. But this is
Well,
the team I'd have to avoid that has they have ETN and they have Josh Allen. So unless they win, I think it's going to
Zeke.
work out for me here. They went
Yeah, they
Zeke.
went
And if
Zeke.
they don't go
You should be
QB,
able
then
to
I'm good.
land Gabe. You should
Yep.
be good. You should
Gabe
be
or
good.
Cooks, I'm fine with.
Josh Downs. Okay. I wasn't targeting Downs, but yeah, you're good. You got your guy.
All right. We are going
got your
Gabe
guy.
Davis. Now I have BTJ, Gabe Davis, and Brian Thomas with the Tajay Spears run back. And Jacksonville also has a couple other options on teams that I can get that they play in week 15 and week 16. So I like the way that rounded out. The big benefit was that I took T-Law, and now you know who I'm not going to take in this draft?
Will Levis.
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. Okay.
This is Purdy and T-Law. There's no reason for another one. That's the benefit of the 2 QB, 2 tight end is I can maximize the other positions.
That is, for me, one of the things that I have enjoyed and appreciated the most about this is when you do get a hammer tight end, a Pitts, a Laporta, a Kelsey, a Kincaid, whomever you deem to be like one of those legit difference makers. I'm only looking at 2. I'm not even thinking about 3 tight ends whenever I start like that. Jelani out there late if you want a tight end, Ray. Is it Jelani or is it Granson? If I were going to pick one, I'd probably take Kylan Granson, honestly. Like, I probably would take Granson.
Andrew Ogletree. God. It's Will Mallory. It's Mo Alley Cox. It's any of the 5.
I got sniped on Jahan Dotson. He almost came back to me. Jahan Dotson almost fell back to me. But I was taken. I don't even, you know what? I can play. I can play around. I'm going to take another share of Xavier Legette because I just continue to do that. Zero correlation at all, but I'm just taking a rookie bet. I'm not going to lie to you, Scott. The OTA highlights they've done a little something to me. So I'm taking Xavier Legette, just a rookie, some upside there in that Carolina offense. And I am thinking about Ben Sinnott next. Like, I really, really would like to get Ben Sinnott to round out that game, which I only have one Atlanta Falcon right now. So I can go Mooney. Oh, fuck. It's probably best if I take Mooney, y'all. Take a look at why. Let me just show you why probably Mooney. Because I get correlation against the Giants and the Commanders. Back-to-back weeks. Yep. I can double dip. Whereas I like Ben Sinnott. He's a rookie tight end. And I only get that week 17 matchup. So looking through this again, it's probably going to be Darnell Mooney, and I need another Falcon. I would like to have one more Falcon. I got Pitts and Bijan. I don't mind Mooney for the format. So it's probably Darnell Mooney for me right here, Scott. What do you think, Mooney or Sinnott?
I think Sinnott probably is going to you have a better chance of him falling just because you have Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Yep, a lot of people that have Daniels go after him, so I think you have a better shot of him falling. But it's sometimes tough to do in a live draft, but if I were you, I'd look at all the teams that pick after you, and every one of them has a tight end. And it comes down to it's just a numbers game.
Yeah, I'll take Mooney. I'm not counting on Sinnott to be the top dog, and I really did want a little more correlation in that Atlanta-Washington game. I like Mooney, what he will do, which is just explosive plays. Let's go Darnell Mooney right there. Darnell Mooney. God, this is a 9 wide receiver room that I must build out. There's no doubt about it with what I've got. Yep. 9 receivers. Got to do it. And the cool thing about the tool, if I slide this over, right here, it shows you sort of those team pairings right here, right? Indianapolis, A. Rich, Michael Pittman. You see Washington, Jaden Daniels, Austin Eckler. Atlanta are now down to 3 of those guys. So let's pull your board up, Scott. And where are you thinking about going? I think you're on the clock here. You got like 3 picks, and then you're up.
Yeah, I am definitely taking receiver because I only have, 5 receivers thus far, and I'm looking for 9. I'm done at quarterback. I'm done at tight end, right? And I went so early at running back. To me, all the running backs here, Ray, feel the same. Between
pick your
Hubbard, Tracy, Herbert,
pick your flavor.
All Foreman, I don't care. So I'm really hoping Ricky Pearsall comes back to me. That would round out the Purdy, Kittle, Pearsall with Gibbs and Laporta stack. This team has 6 receivers, so there's a chance, they went Matt Stafford. So I'm smashing Ricky Pearsall. I love getting him, as you can see here, top on the board, but also perfectly correlated with Purdy and the Lions stack that I already have. So that's an obvious pick.
All right.
And, man, I hate
do you really care about – we're in round 13. How much do you care about the actual ADP that's on the screen?
None. Right, I care mostly about, do I have, like, Roman Wilson's the next one up, but I'm skipping over Jermaine Burton. I'm skipping over all these guys below him that have no correlation. Roman Wilson, I have a bunch of players already correlated with him. Now, do I really want to take Roman Wilson with George Pickens and my 5th rookie receiver? Not really. So he went. So I'm glad about that. Let's see. This is where the Spike Week tool comes into play, because I got to look at some of the other matchups.
Yes, it does.
Malachi Corley, week 15 against Jacksonville.
Oh.
I know.
I don't have any Corley, so, I mean, I don't hate it. Or I've got little Corley, I'll say that. Little. There goes Ben Sennett off the board, so no Ben Sennett on the way back. That's okay, though. I'm all right with that. I got bits.
So I know I need 3 more receivers, right? I'm probably taking 3 more receivers. I can either take Malachi Corley because he's the next one up, or I can get creative and try to hit like a cross stack. I have 0 Corley, as you can see, so that's who I'm going to take. Yep, that's who I'm going to take.
Malachi
literally 0. 0.
You've got 0. Well, now you've got 0. A little bit. So good.
I have 1 share. Dude, this is definitely a different build for both of us.
It's a way different. Me too. I don't know how I feel about it right now. It's a different build.
In the chat, how do you feel about a team that has 4 rookie receivers and J-Mo? So I almost still feel like J-Mo's damn near a rookie. You know what I mean?
He's a rookie in his 5th year, but yes. You did commit to the Corley Pearsall, BTJ, Xavier Worthy, all upside, baby. I love it. Corley, Jaleel McLaughlin, and I am 4 picks away from being on the board. Let's see what the chat's talking about, man. What's the chat talking about? Can play, trade, PPR Dynasty, Granson, in my opinion. Only got the green showing up. Okay, just completed the trade. So everybody's just kind of grinding, man. Up my alley. Scott Coldwell, TD, loves those rookie receivers. Loves them. Said right up his alley. Speaking his love language tonight. Rookie receivers.
He did ask earlier, do I still prefer Pickens over Mahomes? Yeah, I'm not mad about how my quarterbacks shook out.
No.
Purdy and Lawrence. It's all the other shit that the pick I probably, if I could do over again, would be the Kittle pick, obviously.
Felt good when you it sounded good when you did it, though.
That was the pick, because if you look at the board, and we can pull the board back up in a second, but if you look at where I took Kittle.
I got to get ready for this pick, and I'm talking shit about you, and I'm about to have 4 rookie wide receivers too, so here we go.
Yeah, I'll let you go.
Here we go. Let me pull it up. So I'm about to pick. Golly, I've just butchered my screen. I am thinking I've just completely wrecked it. I think I am going to either go Luke McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man. Luke McCaffrey. You know what? He'll come back.
I don't know. There's been a dude in between that's been ripping off Ben Sinnott and Jahan Dotson. I don't know.
You scared me enough into it. Luke McCaffrey. That is my 3rd rookie receiver. Luke McCaffrey.
We're also going to run out of time, so I don't know if you had another one fired up.
I did not. It was Luke McCaffrey or bust. And now, dude, are you buying into any of the Tyrone Tracy hype? Because I personally am not, but I feel like I've got to get a piece in case. And it correlates with week 17, so I feel like I just got to do it.
Well, and you said you wanted Singletary, and you got sniped. So maybe this is the karma
where Singletary and Tyrone Tracy correlates both. I like doubling up, dog. Tracy, I get Atlanta and Indianapolis. I get Atlanta in 16 and Indy in week 17. Like, I just like the fact that if there's a 2-week stretch where he does anything, like I've got him covered and he pairs up with those teams. I'm liking the colors I'm seeing. A lot of green, a lot of purple. That's what I like to see. A lot of green, a lot of purple. So it's either Tyrone Tracy or Wan'Dale Robinson. And seeing as I already have Malik Neighbors, I don't want to bet too much on the pass catchers in that offense. So I think I'm going to stack them up with Tyrone Tracy. He'll be my 5th running back, and I will stop there. This will be a 5 RB build with Bijan Robinson as my hero hammer. I've got Joe Mixon, who hopefully can be like a mini hero. Austin Eckler, the receiving back tethered to Jaden Daniels, and then Blake Corum, just because I like Blake Corum. And if something happens to Kyron Williams, this offense is so efficient, I just want the running back. So on the board right now, Will Levis is off the board. I've got 2 quarterbacks. I got 2 QBs.
We got a sniper in here, Ray.
We got a sniper? Yeah,
we
Levis
got
is
Adam
off the board.
C is picking. Adam C is the team Adam Q, which is picking right between you and I. So he's just sitting in here listening. Yep.
Okay. All right, you son of a bitch. Tyrone Tracy off the board. We got a sniper in the building. Scott, I pulled the full board up, so we just take a look at what's happened this round. J.K. Dobbins, Will Levis, Bucky Irving, Tyrone Tracy by me at the 15-4 spot. Wan'Dale Robinson, Derek Carr, 15-6. And we are at pick 175. You've got 3 more picks, and then you are on the board, my friend, and you haven't touched a running back since round 9. Haven't touched a tight end since round 6. Where are you thinking about going right here?
I'm probably, if Vidal falls, I'm going to go him because I'm going to be able to kind of sneak back through a Patriots receiver with Vidal stack. There's 3 Patriots receivers left, so I'm going to bank on another rookie. I'm going to go to Vidal, which means I'm going to be able to get Javon Baker or
Polk's gone.
Did Pop Douglas go too?
Yeah, Pop's gone and Polk is gone.
Douglas went. Oh, man, I should have checked.
Yeah, Pop and Polk. Pop finally went about where he should go. I didn't understand how he was going after Javon Baker. And
usually he goes after Baker and Polk. So I was
Polk. I don't get it. I truly don't get it. So he went off the board in the 14th round. Looks like there was an auto pick. Was that an auto pick? Hunter Henry?
There was an auto pick. Yep. Team needed it. That Sanat team needed his 4th tight end. Oops.
Woof. Dallas Goedert, Dalton Kincaid, Ben Sanat, and Hunter Henry.
Didn't need Disgusting. Ben Sanat, let alone needed Hunter Henry on top.
Oh yeah, let's fall. If there's another, it's an interesting build. Tight ends are flying. Tyler Conklin. There's Khalil Herbert off the board. Now you're back up, Scott.
There's that Javon Baker. So I backdoor stacked that Javon Baker, Cavani Vidal, week 17 correlation back to back.
You're 24th rookie of this team. Let's fucking go. Let's go back to old GQ squad. Let's see what the hell I'm gonna do. What round is this? Round 17? What round is this? Round 16.
2 more picks. Yep. Or no, you got 3 more.
Okay, I got 3 more picks. I'm done with running back. I'm done. Bijan, Mixon, Eckler, Corum, Tracy. I'm good. 5 running backs. I'm going to focus on the wide receiver position right now. I'm going to focus on the receiver position. I'm going to take a peek at the tight end room. Chig. Slayton, I don't mind Slayton. Rondell Moore, I'll pass on that. Dolchitz, I'll pass. Jelani Woods. I'm not taking Jelani Woods, Scott. I'm serious about Kylan Granson. I think I've 0 Granson. I'm not touching Jelani Woods right here, Scott. I'm not doing it.
Here's why you don't. They literally have 5 tight ends. And Ray, look at the tight ends that don't get drafted. Sometimes the Chigs, the Noah Fants, they're going in the last round. Do you really think if a tight end emerges in Indy, they're going to go any higher than round 17 or 18? There's just no point in guessing when you have a 25% chance of actually hitting it right. There's just no reason to take the Colts tight end right now.
Yeah. I took Tyler Boyd. So I took my 2nd Tennessee Titan. I took Tyler Boyd. I've already got DeAndre Hopkins, but I like Boyd's role. Floor guy, shouldn't be a 0. And on the off chance that he is one of the guys that pops for Will Levis in the week versus Jacksonville, I'll get a little bit of that. So I took Tyler Boyd right there as my 8th receiver.
I like it.
Darren Waller, Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is an interesting name. Another late tight end that I can just grab in the 18th round if I want to. Noah Brown in Houston. Darren Waller. Is Waller officially done? Did Waller hang it up?
I'm not drafting Waller.
I'm not touching him, but I was just curious.
I'm not. No, he has not officially announced his retirement, but I'm not drafting Waller. He does get drafted every once in a while, but I'm not taking.
Yeah, I'll pass on that. I don't think I have any Darren Waller. Yeah, 0% across the board. 0% Darren Waller. Treylon Burks, I can't do it today, big Treylon. I can't do it today. Jalen Tolbert went off of the board. Scott, Roshan Johnson, Deontay Foreman, Noah Fant. Justin Fields just comes off of the board in the 17th round. Fields was picked. Damian Pierce, I kind of like getting some Pierce late. And now I'm up. I don't want to be overweight on Tennessee like that. I like Chigo Okonkwo right there, but that Titans-Jags matchup, I can't do it. I'm taking Zay Jones. Give me the upside in that offense. I like the pick. I think he's going to be a big play, deep play threat for Kyler Murray. And he pairs up with Blake Corum. So Blake Corum, Zay Jones in Week 17, the Rams and the Cardinals. And he is I think that's my ninth receiver off of the board. No, I got 9. That was my 9th. I'm a 2-5-9-1 build right now.
Oh yeah, you need another tight end.
Yeah, I got one pick left, and that'd just be tight end. So I didn't want to do it.
Here's a point I want to make for a lot of people. I mean, right now, Jonnu Smith, Chiga Okonkwo, Mike Gesicki, Jatavian Sanders, Colby Parkinson, Michael Mayer, none of those guys have been drafted yet.
None of them.
So there is no profit to be had by guessing on the Colts tight end, by guessing on Theo Johnson versus Daniel Bellinger. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Like, don't even draft those guys. If you're going to do multiple entries and you're going to be drafting in July, August, even early September, like, why are you guessing on Daniel Bellinger when you'll be able to get him literally right now in September when he's the starter? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So there's just no profit to be had at those positions. So
Agreed. All right, you're up. You're up for your 17th round pick. You're about to be up. You're about to be up. 2 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 8 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends. Mr. Charles Chill, FFB. What you about to do, man?
I got sniped on that old Demarcus Robinson, which correlated in my week 15 and week 16, and he would bring some experience to the squad because we know that I have all rookies.
Yeah, you need that vet to coach up those players on your fantasy roster.
I got sniped on ETN, so I'm gonna go with some Tank Bigsby and just ride the Jacksonville stack that I already have. So that's my last running back, and now I got to find a receiver.
I like that.
What do we got correlation-wise? We got Odell, week 16. Anybody that can – this is where we scroll down. Oh, Ray. This is where we scroll down. Heavy correlation right here with old Marquez Valdez-Scantling. How do you think about that one?
It's a lot of correlation. There's a lot of correlation.
Oh, that's awful. Couldn't it be anybody else? How about Tutu Atwell, Jacob Cowing? Ooh, Chase Claypool. You're noticing a theme here. Spike Week loves all these Bills. I just don't like any of the Bills.
Oh, man. I'm too busy back here looking at which dog shit tight end I'm going to take for my last pick, and it is nasty. It is nasty. Where you going, Scott? You going with your 9th receiver, your 6th running back, or your 3rd tight end? What are you going to do?
I'm going to go with I'm going to hedge my bets a little bit. Not hedge, but I'm going to add to my theme and just lean into
look at your queue. I'm going to the board. The people will see your final selection
It's a rookie receiver. It's a rookie receiver that has heavy correlation, and it's a stack. I'm only drafting correlation this late. There's no reason to draft anybody else. This team's already going to be.
Who you take? Brendan Rice?
Nope.
Jacob Cowing?
Jacob Cowing is the selection.
I knew it. I got it. Jacob Cowing. There it is. Jacob freaking
2592 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rookie receivers and a rookie running back. So when this team finishes in 478,000th place, at least we have the stream to memorialize this draft.
Oh, man. I am preparing for my final pick. Scott is probably gonna be. I've got two Giants. If I take Bellinger, I get Atlanta. I get his Week 16 correlation and Week 17 with Atlanta and Indy. I don't know who it's going to be in New York, but I would venture to say it's not going to be Theo Johnson.
I just said don't guess on Daniel Bellinger, and Ray's about to take Daniel Bellinger.
Well, what the fuck? Look, dude, what else am I supposed to do? Look at what I've got. What other options do I have? Kraft, Sanders, Dolchich, no thank you. Knox, Woods,
Jelani Woods, all three.
Oh, he
right
does
there.
have all three. Oh, he's got Denver, Tennessee, and the Giants.
Doesn't matter.
Fuck.
I would rather bet on Jelani Woods than I would bet on Daniel Bellinger or Theo Johnson.
Well, I'm not betting on Theo Johnson.
Or you just go best player available. You have
no. I need a fucking second tight end. I need another tight end.
That's what I know. I mean, best tight end available.
Tucker.
Kraft. you could go Zach Ertz, but does Zach Ertz make it to Week 17, Ray?
That's my thing. He might not make it. He legitimately may not make it. I thought
it's
about
probably
Ertz.
A good bet he won't.
All right. Does Woods make it? Probably not either. So I've got one damn tight end now.
Okay. Doesn't have to correlate. You could just go with the tight end you know's on the field. Why not Tucker Kraft? He's on a good offense.
I took the correlation. I took Woods. Woods was the pick. I took Woods. My team is done. The classic GQ 2592 build. That is my jam. 2592. That is the classic GQ build. 2592. We'll go through the rosters at the end. Let the people talk about what they like, what they didn't like. I know where I would have pivoted looking back on this. I know what I would have done. But you are about to be on the clock. Your final pick. Or you're done. We're done.
I'm done.
All right, we're done. All right, let's pull the board up. We're done. I need to see that Fantasy Pros ranking at the end. Let me see how many points it's saying.
Both these teams are about as it gets.
Me and Overzet were talking about that. I want to see. So I'm projected to score 2,600 points as well as you. So we're not at the top with all our damn rookies that we took. But let's look at the board and talk through, Scott, what we liked, what we didn't like, where we would have done some things a little differently. Let's pull this up, pull that up, view full draft, pull the board up. Bam, here we go. So let's start with you, my friend. Go ahead and talk about what you did in this one.
Well, I had this vision of going RB. Got sniped on ETN coming back. I would have preferred to go ETN with that 4th round pick, but I ended up taking
over
Laporta.
Pickens?
Yeah, I would have rather go ETN, and then I would have been done at running back, and I could have just hammered receivers. My receivers would have been probably even weaker than they were, but I would have been able to probably have some different options. The way it played out, I thought I'd be able to build the Pickens, Worthy, maybe get Rashee Rice, but I think Rashee Rice went 7 picks before me or something because we were both talking about him. Ended up taking Brian Thomas Jr. just as best receiver available. Then took Tajay Spears.
Yep.
So kind of never even planned on going Lawrence, Gabe Davis, Tajay Spears, Brian Thomas Jr., but it just ended up that way. And sometimes that just speaks to you don't even start thinking about your whole plan until you get 5 or 6 rounds in. Then I go, wait a second. I'm not taking Goff and Purdy. I'm not taking them both together because that's just too much in one game.
Too much from the game, yeah.
Don't want both quarterbacks. I was committing to Fields, but then, Lawrence fell. And I'm like, I have Thomas. I have Spears. Let's just go T-Law. And I knew I'd be able to get Gabe Davis. So I didn't even expect to be heavy into that game, but I ended up with 5 players from that game. I ended up with Laporta, Gibbs, Purdy, Pearsall, Cowing, and just those. And Kittle. 6 from the San Fran Detroit game. And then everything else was just like a one-off. It was Pickens and Worthy, Vidal and Baker.
Yep.
Corley and what was the Corley correlation that I had? It was Corley and he correlated with Jacksonville in week 15. And then it rounded out with a 2-5-9-2 build. The pick I regret is Kittle. I could have got Ferguson way past where he normally goes, which would have complemented the Saquon pick. I would have liked, really, right now, all I have is Saquon, right? It's a standalone Saquon.
Yeah, I was
So
wondering
I
what
could
you
have got.
what. Yeah,
There's no
that's how it
Cowboys
be
to take
sometimes,
after
dude.
Dak and Ferguson, and unless I
That's
would have
how it
gone
be.
Jalen Tolbert or someone like that at the end, there's really no other Cowboys to take. So I wish I could
Cowboys
have
are tough.
replaced. What receivers went after Kittle that I could have had? Thought
Receivers
a pass
after
on
George
Kittle.
Kittle, Calvin Ridley, Rome Odunze, Lad McConkey, Keon, Rasheed Rice, Nuke Hopkins, JSN, Deontay, Christian Watson.
Now listen, if I could swap out Calvin Ridley with the Jags heavy build that I did, right? And then get Jake Ferguson instead of Kittle, that would have been the
That would
play
have been,
that would have helped
yeah.
this team even more. So it's easy to make mistakes when you're doing it live. You don't see everything coming until it hits you in the face. So
Hell
I'd give this
yeah.
team like a C plus.
All right, I was picking at the 104 spot, and I started off Bijan Robinson, Malik Neighbors, Michael Pittman Jr., Anthony Richardson. I wanted some more A-Rich. I took A-Rich right there in the 4th round. Followed that up with Kyle Pitts, Joe Mixon, DeAndre Hopkins, Cortland Sutton, Jaden Daniels. Austin Eckler was very happy to get Jaden Daniels and Austin Eckler today. Just a YOLO Blake Corum that I was able to correlate with Zay Jones in the 17th round. Xavier Legette, Darnell Mooney, Luke McCaffrey, Tyler Boyd, and then I took Jelani Woods as my final tight end right down there. The correlation in this one was Atlanta and Washington. You also have the Giants in Indianapolis with Malik Neighbors, Tyrone Tracy, and Anthony Richardson and company. So I had a lot of correlation on this team. There was a lot of shit that works well together. I don't know, man. C plus, I guess. C plus, B minus type team. I don't feel great. Honestly, the pick that I regret probably more than any was Darnell Mooney, and it was way later. But I just looking at, fuck, man, I don't know. Who else am I gonna take? Jermaine Burton.
There's just a pause and then a fuck, man.
Yeah, there's nothing else to really do, so I don't even regret it. I think this team is just what it was. Like, it is what it is. Cortland Sutton, sure. Maybe I shouldn't have taken Cortland Sutton. Could have taken.
Do you think we are better off if we do this next week or a week after or whenever? You think we should do one where we do it together instead of both of us trying to manage the board? Do you think that kind of – what do you think?
We could try one. I kind of like the chaos. I kind of like the fact that we have to think critically on the fly, talk through our process, why we're doing certain things. I like doing it head-to-head. We should do one live, but maybe that's something we do together. Maybe we do here's what we can do, Scott. Here's what we'll do, and we'll round out the show here. We're going to enter one of them big tournaments, the Mastiff or something like that, and we'll do that together, but we'll enter it slow, and then we'll just, every time we come on Sunday for as long as that draft is going on, we'll talk through that pick. If it aligns for the show, we can talk through the Mastiff pick or the Big Dog, whichever one of those big entry tournaments. We can collectively do one of those together, and then we'll talk through that together.
Yeah, I like that. I like there's some other content creators out there that are doing like slow draft content where they'll just do a quick live stream, 5 minutes, talk through the pick, go through what's gone off since last time they picked. I think that's where you can really highlight the Spike Week tool and kind of planning out where you're going to go in the next couple picks. When you have 30 seconds and you're trying to manage the board and we're both trying to talk through what we're doing, it is hectic. So I like doing that. I like going through a slow draft and just coming on here and talking about each pick each week. That's cool.
Yeah, we can do that. So we appreciate everybody tapping in. Another draft over here on Destination Chill. Make sure you tap into the Destination Devy podcast radio feed. Scott, what are you talking about in the morning? Give the people a preview.
Yeah, I had a guest, one of the other grinders within our DD community. We went on for about an hour and 15 minutes talking about the any quarterback on a 2-deep strategy. So if you like the debate between Jake Hayner and Spencer Rattler, or how about that Michael Pratt versus Sean Clifford camp debate for the Packers backup job?
Wait for that.
That is going to be your podcast if you are into talking about the which 3rd and 4th string QBs to watch for, and you might still want to roster if they look good in camp. So, yeah, any quarterback on a 2-deep episode tomorrow.
And early in the morning on Memorial Day, I will be flying solo. Jump on, wake up with Ray G. We're going to talk about some hype that's going on with OTAs. We buying or selling that hype, Scott. There's a lot of hype. Slim down Lamar Jackson. Zeke Elliott in the best shape of his life. And J.J. McCarthy struggling left and right. A lot of hype out there in OTAs. And then again, if you have not checked out the video on Trey McBride, it's about 30 minutes. Deep dive into a lot of shit that nobody in fantasy football is talking about. Everybody wants to talk about this is going to be the next Kelsey, and I like this player or not. I literally went through route concepts and what he's doing compared to what Travis Kelsey did when he was scoring 18, 19 fantasy points a game. And we got to the conclusion if Trey McBride is in fact the next Travis Kelsey. So make sure you tap into that. Hit that thumbs up button, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you're following Scott. He is going live every Wednesday night in the summer. Make sure you tap into that show. If you watch this, you watch Wake Up, make sure your asses are in the building Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Central Time, or is it 7:30? I mean, 7:30 Eastern, 8:30 Eastern. Which one is it?
Nope, 8 Eastern. This
8
week
Eastern.
will actually be a recap of my first 20% of BBMs. Things that I've noticed going, man, that I'm going way too heavy on this kind of build or these types of players. But I got a lot of guests lined up for the summer to draft with me. So after this week, there'll be a bunch of live drafts run off between now and the end of July.
Real quick, Scott, before we get out of here, and yeah, go Mavs. I told people I predicted Celtics 5-1 over Indy, and I also predicted the Mavs would take down the Minnesota Timberwolves in 6 games. And shit, they might be getting the Mavs, the Timberwolves out of the paint even quicker than that, Scott. But quick advice for people who have maxed entered these contests and they got 80 drafts going on at a single time. How are you managing this? How do you manage all the drafts and your Apple Watch going off like crazy, wifey asking you what the hell you're doing on your phone 24/7? What are some tips that you can give people to help navigate the challenging sort of direction of all these damn things going on at once?
Well, you gave me a tip a little while ago is basically do it in batches. If you're going to do a bunch of BBMs or, like the Palm popped up on Thursday and it's already sold out. Like if you're going to, okay, man, I'm max entering this. I'm going to have 50 slow drafts going on at one time. It's an 8-hour clock. So give yourself a couple times a day, check in. I prefer to do it on a PC like I know you do. I need to be able to see it on the big screen versus on my phone. So then on the other screen, I can have all the schedules and I can have Spike Week tool and all that kind of stuff up in front of me. But just pick some periods throughout the day. You don't need to check it we all get the notifications. Oh man, I'm on the clock. Which draft is this? I have no clue. I just go in, look at my team, what's on the board, and I just pick aimlessly. I'd rather sit down, take 30 minutes to make 20 picks. You know what I mean? And then walk away for 3 hours and come back and don't even watch the board. So that's how I'm doing. I think that's how you're doing it as well.
Yep. I've got hours and time frames in which I check, and I would much rather, like you said, do 20, 30, 40 picks in one time period opposed to looking at it every 5 minutes, making a pick, trying to run back, look at the tool, look at my exposure. Do it in pockets, do it in windows, and most importantly, have fun while you do it. We appreciate you being here for this episode of Destination Chill. Hit that thumbs up button, like, comment, subscribe, tap into everything that we're doing at DD, and wake y'all asses up tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern time. We out. Be chill, y'all. Peace.